Welcome to First Watch Rewatch, the show that has one person who is an omniscient, let's say, narrator hosting the show who knows all about this particular show, and one person who is watching it for the first time and is really annoyed at the other person. I'm Tom Duncan.
And I'm Sara Shea, the person who's really annoyed at the other person.
Yes, and we do have our first guest, and the first person on with us for the end of the first season.
Yes.
Of what we're doing here. So episode 8, we're finishing up the first season of The West Wing. Who is on with us?
With us today is one of my movie BFFs, Klarissa Beckstead. Klarissa, I'm so excited that you are here. Go ahead and tell everybody who you are.
Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm so happy to be here. This is just like the best feeling, being on, chatting with you, having something new to watch. This is so fun because I also have never seen West Wing. I've always wanted to. It's a killer cast. And so when you guys reached out to me about this, I was like, okay, great, fine. Don't hound me about it. I'll watch this show I've been dying to watch. So I'm really pumped. I've seen that one on Instagram, which is currently dead because I'm pregnant. But I feel it might be alive and well at another point. But mostly I'm here just
We're hoping it's alive and well.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way that you phrased that sounded so bad.
Give it CPR. Give the podcast some CPR, some love. But I think also anyone who's been a parent or been pregnant understands that sometimes it's really hard to do more than just sleep. So, So hopefully there will be things out there for you this summer. But you'll just have to see. I guess.
Now
I just
the
can't
question
wait.
becomes, are you going to become a series regular, or is this a special guest starring appearance?
Well, if you ask, I might as well just, I'll wait for that ask to come my way. But it's a very optimistic smiley answer.
Tom, you do realize when you and I have a problem and cannot record a show that is an hour long, it stretches into 90 minutes or 2 hours or, I don't know, 3 hours because we can't shut up. And then you're going to add Klarissa into the mix. I mean, that sounds like a wonderful evening and I want to do it all of the time. But we might need to rethink the format of the show.
This is adding another yapper.
Now, I do want to stress that there are no edits made to these shows.
Right.
I love it.
None.
So,
Perfect.
As a seasoned podcaster now that did your own show, at least for a time, you should have some ability to play with us in this environment.
It's live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it up to my co-host here. What do you think? Does she get the invite?
I think that, if anytime you want to come back, I guess we're deciding today what we're doing next. I think you're going to be part of that, so I guess you'll have to, I don't know if you've been given information ahead of time, but
no. Okay,
so we'll have to see how it goes. I'm really
from the mind of Thomas Duncan.
You're like the 90s trailer guy voice.
Yes.
In a world.
Okay, so we are finally getting to the last episode of season 1 of The West Wing. It is episode 22. We'll start this off and we'll go from there. I think there's a lot to obviously digest from this particular episode. We have a lot of things to clean up at the end of this as well. So we're going to try and go through this one by one. All right. First off, let's see here.
Just want to show you, my notes. Of course, I have tons.
Yes.
Oh, and Tom, just because I forgot them last week at school, here's my other notes from last week. Okay.
Are those handwritten?
Yes.
Yeah, she's an old soul that way.
Look how cute they are, though. They look so nice.
I literally... Okay, wait. While I'm an old soul, and because we haven't seen each other forever, I literally missed school on Friday because I was off doing stuff, and I couldn't write my lesson plans, and I was sitting there trying to type them up, and then I was like, I can't do it. And so you know what I did? I sat down and I wrote them by hand and got it done in 5 seconds. Computers are slowing me down, man.
The master of education. The coolest old school.
Okay, sorry, Tom. Sorry.
back to you, Tom.
It's your fault.
Yes, I guess it is. Episode 22, entitled What Kind of Day Has It Been? This episode was directed by the pilot director, Thomas Schlamme, and written solely by Aaron Sorkin. We've mentioned that quite a few times during the course of this season 1 and our 8, well, I guess this is now the 8th episode, but our 7 previous episodes or so. This was released on May 17th, 2000. Quick summary. Iraqi ground forces using a surface-to-air missile shoot down an F-117 Nighthawk of the U.S. Air Force during a routine 3-hour patrol of a no-fly zone. The pilot, a 26-year-old captain, survives, but Iraqis are only 10 miles away. President Bartlett orders a military rescue immediately. The staff learns that the Space Shuttle Columbia has incurred a mechanical problem and a resulting delay in its landing, and that Toby's brother is a payload specialist aboard the flight. That will come back in later seasons. Later, the officials learn that the rescue of the downed pilot has succeeded. The president, Zoe, and the senior staff go to a museum in Roslyn, in the Virginia suburbs of Washington, where the president speaks in a town hall meeting, during which Josh signals him that the problem with the shuttle has been resolved. Afterward, as the group returns to the motorcade, Zoe's Secret Service agent, Gina Toscano, sees something, but is unable to piece together before 2 unknown concealed gunmen begin shooting. The screen goes black, leaving the fate of the president and the senior staff unknown. So let's start here. The episode starts with Gina supposedly seeing something in the crowd and then screaming, and then it goes into the fanfare. What were we feeling, both of you, at that moment?
Panic. Like, panic. I really like that we've had kind of a relationship with Zoe in these past seasons where we see her in this different way. And it's not even just like the panic of there's a dangerous situation in a public space, in a political space, which is already a terrible feeling. But it's that we already know and love these characters so much. And we have, like, this love for Zoe and, like, this protection. We've seen those intimate conversations with her and her dad. Just panic.
Oh, am I supposed to talk about my feelings? I don't even know how to process this episode. I think it was so fast. I was enjoying, like, here's the speech, because I really tried to avoid looking at notes about the episode as much as possible. And then that started happening, and then I said, oh no, who is this directed at? Is it directed at Zoe and Charlie because we've had that concern, or is it directed at Bartlett instead? Because it seems to be really unclear. And so yes, that was a lot of stress. I feel like I remember, I watched it really late last night. I feel like I remember somebody like shouting Charlie towards the end. I don't know. I was very stressed out.
I think that is stressed. The point.
Of course it is. But then I think at the same time was feeling like it felt like it was built, the season was building towards this, essentially.
It 100% was.
Yeah.
I had been trying to get you to predict like where certain things were going, and all of the seeds had been laid in advance to where this was going from. Now, just to confirm, neither of you have watched into season 2 as I strictly instructed.
I have not watched anything into season 2.
Just the little bit that started automatically playing while I was eating my dinner. Sorry. But not enough to, like, really give you, like, give me any firm opinions, change anything. Yeah.
The 5 minutes that you confessed to earlier, not on the show, really doesn't give you anything. It actually opens up more questions.
It does.
So it continues the cliffhanger, so you actually didn't do yourself any favors.
Okay, great. Awesome. They love that so much.
I will say that it's, as I'm thinking about, as I'm looking back on the season and thinking about all of the pieces that were put into place, I think that if I was in a little bit more of a sleuthy mood, and if this felt more like puzzle box show, because it's not, that I probably would have figured out that it's going to be this, right? But it's a show from the 90s, and even when you say cliffhanger, that doesn't necessarily suggest to me that there's going to be gunfire. So I think that if I'd been in a different headspace, I could have figured it out. But I was trying to be very relaxed about watching it so that I didn't have too many expectations, right? I think I said several times, I'm along for the ride, because I didn't want to ruin my experience by focusing too much on any one thing and getting too caught up, right?
For a show is ostensibly about politics, it does create a life or death moment for both of the endings to seasons 1 and 2.
Oh, crud. Okay. I think I had been potentially thinking that we would have more of another crisis with Bartlett's health, that he would like collapse in public or something like that.
That's what I kind of thought as well.
So it kind of teases for you early on where it's going to end up at the end of the episode. As I had mentioned on last week's episode, and this has been a strict commandment, that my co-host has not been able to text me during any of the episodes of this season.
Which is really hard, because we text each other constantly. This is not fair.
It's mostly you texting me, and I'm too polite not to respond. But, however it's going to go. Anyway,
he'll just be like, okay.
I allowed some level of venting by letting you send emojis and or GIFs. And I believe I counted 18.
Is there 18 of them?
I believe I counted that, yeah.
Basically, Tom was already in bed when I started watching this.
I was asleep.
Yeah, so he was like, I know I'll get him in the morning. Wait, now I have to... Okay, how many...
Don't count it live on air. It's not important.
It feels important.
Only to somebody with some OCD.
It feels relevant here.
It's 18 GIFs, and...
Wow.
Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It was waking up to a complete stream of consciousness.
And 12 emojis.
Wonderful. Wait, and GIFs were on the table, not just emojis?
She bargained for that, and I was willing to allow it because it's not direct statements. The part of the embargo that I had made for this is that I don't want to reveal stuff that's not on air early on, and I don't want to gauge reactions too early. So I want to hear the honest reactions. It's why Dana and I never talk on Gmode about the movie. Even if we watch it together, we don't talk about it until we get on mic.
Yeah, and
I want to preserve that.
Yeah, it's super
honesty.
Smart.
So are you going to talk about the emojis that I sent?
No, I think those are just for me.
How about just like one bubble? Like, do you have one bubble that has like 3 emojis in it?
There was a stream of them where it was like, I don't care, I do care, I care a lot. I don't care, I don't really, nope, yes, I do care. It was like 6 or 7 of those in a row.
Yep.
Iconic.
These are actually looking at it right now. It's really cute. It's definitely me struggling with what was going on. I mean, one of them is from 7, What's in the Fucking Box, right? Basically, like, what's happening. It was interesting trying to come up with ways to express what I was feeling, which was a lot of complicated feelings without having access to vocabulary.
We understand it's Schrodinger's white supremacy.
We do? Okay. Wait, what?
What?
I don't have a... I'm confused. Are we talking about my emojis?
You said, yes. You said, open the box. I had a lot of emotions. I said, it's Schrodinger's white supremacy.
Okay, now I get it. Oh, all right. Sorry, Sarah's an idiot.
Don't worry, Klarissa was also lost. It was like we were talking about pastrami sandwiches again.
Pastrami
yes,
sandwiches.
literally. I'm like, okay, there's a joke here. Just go with it.
There's pastrami sandwiches, which you cannot try until you've given birth because it's a cured meat. So you have to avoid it. I mean, this one right here is really cute, and that's supposed to be CJ pushing down Danny.
It's cute. It's a cute one.
Because they're fighting.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, you're definitely not going to like much further then.
Shut up!
Tom! That is so stinker of you. Are you kidding me?
Yes,
don't watch ahead, you guys. Don't do it. But I'm just going to say that. You're just going to say that, Tom?
Yes, it's the enjoyment of being the omniscient narrator here. Of
I think that he loves dangling things in front of me that are like cutesy and romantic, and then just being like smacking me across the face.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. If you think about it, I didn't say it.
All right. So, general opinion, and I've said a disclaimer at the top that I hold only the opinions for myself, and any venting or ranting on political topics are limited to my own opinions and are not necessarily shared by either of my co-hosts, whether they would like to identify themselves or not. I am a flaming liberal. That does not mean they have to be, and I welcome all opinions here, except with some very obvious exceptions. One being, I think we can all generally agree white supremacy bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay. All right, so we got that one out of the way. All right, so let's move to the Iraqi plotline. Anything that, I guess, you guys wanted to take or talk about from that standpoint of this part of the episode? I felt like it was just kind of moving the plot along more or less.
So I will say this. Well, I will say a couple of things. Leo says, I flew planes in the war.
Yes.
Which war is he talking about? Because So
it will be revealed later on what his actual military service was, but he was in Vietnam.
Okay, thank you. I thoroughly confused myself and got turned around thinking he's not old enough to have fought in World War II, but I'm still associate people saying the war with World War II. Okay, so
I'm pretty sure that if I'm remembering this right, and it's not for where I've rewatched, and we obviously know that at multiple times I have been incorrect about various different things, just not remembering everything in the show, because it's been probably a decade since I've watched it straight through. But with that being said, I'm pretty sure he was shot down, was injured, and was in a POW camp for at least a time.
Oh, so he was John McCain. Okay.
Not quite, but yeah.
So this was a little bit hard for me because of my background.
Sure.
And so I fully wrote down the character's name, Captain Scott Hotchkiss. He's 26 years old. There's this bounty of $14,000 for any plane shot down or a soldier captured. And I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They resolve it pretty quick.
The same weekend as Easter, we had a very similar situation happen. So it's not like this is completely out of relevant memory.
Correct. And it's really weird that within the last couple of weeks, yes, that we've had a very similar thing happen right now in 2026.
Yeah.
I was feeling very uneasy about it. They get him on the phone to talk with Bartlett, and Bartlett is talking and says, give me your parents' phone number. I never get to make this call. And I burst into tears, which is just, yep, we're just going to put that out there and just be like, that was a big old punch in my gut. Not that I have a problem with that. It was unexpected. That line was pretty much the most perfect line that they could possibly put in there. Yeah. But,
all right, Klarissa.
Yeah.
How about you hop in here? Thoughts on the pilot and the Iraqi storyline here?
So this actually kind of hit me a little different because I just finished reading a book called Frankenstein in Baghdad. And the whole plot of it is the creature Frankenstein is put together from pieces of victims in Baghdad. And each piece disappears. Yeah, Sarah. Whoa. Each piece disappears once, vengeance or justice is like served for that person. Anyway, and so it's like kind of interesting to see now in this show that for me, like so far my reaction to West Wing generally has been things happen independently in each episode, and sometimes they carry over with the political things, but typically the things that carry over from episode to episode are the interpersonal relationships, and there's a different kind of crisis they're like conquering every single time. And so having this be something that like I'm a little bit more familiar with, I mean, I wasn't alive during this time, so these are things I've read about, you know what I mean? It was just really interesting to see and experience like dialogue that, I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? It might not be anywhere near what actually was being said or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like just things where people have had these conversations with different countries. I think that's kind of my really poorly worded reaction to the show is like, these are things that I've read about generally, even though if they're fictional events in this show. Things that have happened with different countries or like conflicts, the way that people have these conversations, it's just interesting to see a different side of like these political conversations from leaders that even though it's fictional, this isn't our real president, he wasn't our real president or any of these things. For me as a viewer who hasn't and is now going through some of those things with like a current war, and I'm hearing things on my own now, it's just interesting to see the time then, time now, tying it to things that are happening. Relevance. I hope I am wording myself right.
It's okay. I often forget that there are 3 decades in the room here.
I am a 1999 baby. I'm little,
right.
And so there are things that
I mean, I grew up with the Iraq War and was fighting the good fight in my freshman parochial school education, where I was one against like 120 people. Trying to, fight the liberal fight against, I guess, the ultra-right conservative viewpoints that got everything from their Fox News morning shows on the way to school kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. You would have been 5 when I was doing that.
This was not like something that has happened in the memory time of my lifetime. And that's, I think, giving me a little bit of a different reaction to it. And I do really like the way that this is told so that we have, because like I said, the only thing that I've really been able to follow from episode to episode is like the interpersonal relationships or interpersonal conflict. And now seeing these characters that I care about go through something like this, and I'm hearing what they have to say, it's like, wow, I didn't experience that personally, where people in my life were, or I was listening to things on the news where people were saying those things until really now. I'm having that experience. I've had it with like even some like people giving opinions on the Russian-Ukrainian war, things like that. But this just felt kind of different, and it's one of those things that I'm like, I don't know. It's just like, wow, I'm able to see a little bit more insight into something that I just didn't experience.
And I think, too, we've said this a couple of times, that this show really is of the moment and of the time. What they are covering is stuff that was actually going on. Yes, they are fictionalized versions of it, but we've already mentioned multiple things that we were like, this was actually going on, and this was an important topic of the day. And so it is a little bit of a time capsule, kind of in an unexpected way, me being the oldest out of all of us. And I was Zoe's age when I was not watching this show when it was on, right? Living through that time with blinders on, because I was not the right age to be paying attention to any of this stuff, where you just become, I don't know, so self-absorbed and kind of like narcissistic as you're like exiting out into the world for the first time. You're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I agree with you on that, and kind of that perspective of saying, here I am watching a dramatization of a lot of different things that I've been told about, right? And it's a little bit more cohesive, and maybe it's starting to make sense to you in terms of a history timeline, right? And so you're able to like watch these little like microcosm episodes, but like kind of pull it out and see how it fits into a bigger narrative, not just with the show, but like our entire country and things like that, right?
But even while it is of the moment, and there are topics that, yes, some of them have aged out, such as the conversation about gay marriage, for one thing that has been discussed on multiple different occasions, or gays in the military was another one that's been resurfacing over and over during this season. There are other ones, such as a Middle Eastern war or situations of military exercise in the Middle East, which just continue to come up and are evergreen because it doesn't matter which generation goes through it. It's somebody somewhere doing something.
And it's always carryover from what was happening before, right? Stuff that's going on with Putin is in direct relation to the stuff that was going on in the Cold War, which is related to what was happening in the Second World War, right? So you have these things that kind of filter and trickle too, and then us normal citizens get to sit back and go, oh, well, that's done now, right? The Berlin Wall fell, we're moving on. We don't need to worry about Russia anymore or whatever it is, but there's still ripples happening from all of these things that happened 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago.
Absolutely.
Now, Klarissa, I'm going to assume that you haven't been able to catch each one of our episodes so far of this show. And so I only reference this that Sara has repeatedly said who her favorite and least favorite characters are to this point. CJ and Toby, like, near the top, and Mandy and Mallory, like, way down at the bottom.
With Zoe down there, too. Don't like her.
You have not finished the entire season so far. You've gotten, I believe, about 14 or 15 episodes in. But who are some of your favorite characters to this point?
I really like Josh. I feel like Josh is someone who, kind of like I was saying earlier, I don't really know what I'm going to see from him in every episode, which has been fun. I like that there are some consistencies about his character, but, some of the things I mentioned earlier with, like, the drug testing, I was like, I don't know. Like, Josh, I don't know your life. And I liked that a lot. I also really like this actor and everything I've seen him in. And so I would say Josh is up there. I do really love CJ as well. I love everything that she says and the way that she says it in her press conferences. I think she's very quick and to the point. And I really loved, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting it, but it's earlier in the season when there's something that she hadn't heard of and says, I'll be commenting on that later in this press conference, and then says, I don't know what that is, someone go find out, and then I will give a presentation on it in the press conference. I'm like, she's just so graceful. She, like, takes the beat. I am really excited that we have this, I mean, from where I'm at right now, and seeing this finale and the episode before the finale, like, what... I watched a little bit of the end of that last one and where she's at with her interpersonal relationship with Danny. I just like her a lot. But I will say my next favorite is the president. I love him so much. He is so fun. He's unapologetic and emotional while also being rational and professional, which I really like the combo. Like that combination of those two sides, because it shows, I don't know, just humanity in this political figure, this person who cares about family, individuals, this country. It was just, I really enjoy him as president.
Okay. Now, I specifically went into that to say that we have an important plot line for Toby in this episode. And Sara kind of likes the Eeyore-like figures, the people that never smile, that are constantly, like, Jewish guilt all over them.
Yeah. Wait,
so,
the characters
Sara,
plural with Jewish guilt all over them, or are we talking specifically about Toby? Do you have, like,
Toby's
multiple...
one example of an...
I was like, do we have multiple characters, Sara?
Not necessarily in this show.
No, not in this show. What? Toby, I keep saying I don't know why I like him, but I think part of the reason that I like him is I like him because he's a curmudgeon, but he's clearly has way more going on. Like, he's a much deeper character, but he just holds everything very, very close to the chest, right? And so that's very, very compelling to me, and he's clearly incredibly smart and incredibly compassionate and incredibly good at his job and doesn't want to put up with a lot of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And so Tom's like, yeah, you like, that's called an Eeyore, you like Eeyores, and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe. Yeah. I seem to like the grumpy Gusses, but I like Toby.
So Toby has a brother.
Right.
Who's in NASA.
Yeah.
And was in space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where is our head on that one?
Okay. Can I just say two things?
Yes, you are a co-host of this show.
Mother trucker, it's the Columbia.
Yeah. Yeah.
That spaceship is going to explode in the future and kill people.
Yes.
So
in
watching
real life, not
in real life,
show.
In real life.
Yes, I want to make that differentiation.
Watching this and knowing that space shuttle is going to be a huge disaster freaked me.
3 or 4 years from then, yeah.
Yes, absolutely freaked me out. Because since I'm so old, dinosaurs were still walking the earth when I was born.
Well, there are people older than you.
The Challenger disaster happened like at a very, very formative time for me. I watched it explode on television. I was obsessed with Krista McAuliffe. And so, but it fundamentally shifted how I kind of viewed the world. I had wanted to be an astronaut. Nope, space is scary. You're gonna die if you go to space. So having this storyline feels, I love it. I love it. It pushes all of the things inside me that gets me to react emotionally. And then you have Toby who's trying not to be emotional, but then also knowing, okay, so I'm thinking about the Challenger on the one side, but then I'm thinking about how literally in real life, this spaceship is the shuttle's going to explode. And then guess what? We actually had some astronauts at my school today to do a presentation for our students. So I was just
the
like...
synchronicity is quite high.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a lot of feelings. I loved it. I loved it. I loved that Toby was emotional.
Now, final question for both of you. Should the president have taken off his jacket?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Like, I trust everyone's... That's not something, like, I really would know, but when they said that, I was like, okay, sure, yeah, but here we go. Yes, take off the jacket. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It very much, you could take off the jacket. Like,
yeah.
They're overanalyzing the entire thing. But.
Yes. 100%.
All right. Now, we're nearing the half-hour plus mark of where we're at for this. So let's get finally to the end.
Okay.
We have a skinhead. We have 2 people that he's signaling up above. We have some handguns that are clearly shown out a window, and they're firing into the crowd.
We don't know that he's a skinhead until the very last second, though, right?
That's fine.
Okay.
Doesn't really change where I was going.
Okay.
But as the credits roll and we get the cut to black, where are we at? What are we feeling here?
I mean, kind of the, like, that's a season finale right there. I am ready for the next episode. Mm-hmm. Roll the credits. I mean, part of me was kind of just going into that, again, one of my biggest loves for the show, which is the interpersonal relationships. And I'm like, bah! So it has that, okay, we're ready for the next season. This is just really good writing. So there's kind of the English part of me that is analyzing it of like, yeah, that's good. And I'm really grateful for streaming because I can just hit the next episode and go, okay, here we go. You know, and like I didn't. It's okay.
Thank you,
Sarah,
thank you for
so
pushing
brave.
the buttons that I didn't have
You've
to.
been so brave, Sarah, and I'm so proud of you. I'm only gonna have like a very small gap in between these, where I can go do that. But I will say, if I had to like wait a really long extended period of time, this would be hard, but it would keep me coming back to the show. And it did, like, it is one of those things where I was like, like the gasp, because they do hint to this a little bit in the beginning, and I mean, the details from the episode might have skewed my memory a little bit, but isn't it that she has the feeling, she's looking around, something's wrong, and then you see the guy and he looks up, and then it goes to the intro. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was like, that's where I'm pretty sure the intro starts, is right after that. I feel like that was the perfect way to imply this, to build to this ending. It kept us like on the edge of our seat for the whole, and this is me speaking more analytically than emotionally. Tears, anxiety, panic, help, hello, what's happening? Question mark. But okay. I liked analytically going back to analyzing the beginning and saying this was really effective, because I was like, I don't know what he's looking up at. I don't see the danger right there. Like, I don't see him before the intro plays pull out a gun. I don't see, and I'm like, what does that mean looking up? Like, what does this imply? Like, what's going on? So I like that they did that, and then they led into this scene this way. But yeah, like a lot of anticipation and emotion for a finale.
So, scale of 1 to 10, how angry are you at me right now, Sarah?
Me? Like a 2. I'm cool as a cucumber, Thomas.
Okay. Because you've said publicly before that you really hate waiting on cliffhangers from season to season.
You do?
I do.
Well, I mean, actually, that is true.
I really do. But it's only because... Okay, so I've said this on the show before, but appointment television is really hard for me now. Watching, for example, Severance with Tom has been an exhilarating experience because I don't know how to remain calm. And so I would just text him and yell at him as if it's his fault that, like, the season ends.
Tom.
Yeah, I would start it like 5 minutes ahead of her, so that I would start texting like random emojis that may or may not have to do with something.
To mess with me. So he's basically just like poke. So I love binging shows, love it. And as we know, Tom recommends amazing things for me to watch. He is 100% spot on every single time right now. We will have to see if he misses the mark ever. So everything that he's told me to watch, movies, great, but shows in particular, I just like have been consuming them. Like I watched all of How I Met Your Mother because of Tom, and I was just like obsessively
and how is
going
Shogun going?
I said we could be doing Shogun for this show, and you said no, because I said, why aren't you holding me accountable and making it our first whatever? So
okay.
I was really lucky because I got to watch Game of Thrones all at once, the entire thing. I watched all of the seasons up to the finale season like that. I didn't watch it live, and then I watched the final season live, and it was very satisfying because I didn't have to wait for anything. I didn't have to name my child a name and then 8 years later find out that my child Khaleesi is actually a villain, right? All of these sorts of things. So I hate the waiting, but I like being teased. So I am in... It's a conundrum for me right now, and I'm also trying to not give Tom the satisfaction of getting under my skin, so I gotta play it cool and be like, maybe if you didn't build up the finale so much, it could have had a better impact on me.
Yeah, but she's a 2. She's only like a 2 out of 10 right now, Tom.
Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer you a choice.
Okay.
The same one that I've been teasing all season. That I have been waiting for 8 episodes to drop in this exact moment.
He planned this ahead of time, by the way.
It's because I'm good at chess. Much like multiple people in the show,
Do
as
you
will eventually
do
see.
you play 3D chess like Spock though?
No,
So you're not that cool. Okay.
that is correct.
So embarrassing.
Anyway, I'm going to offer you a choice. Now, at the end of the episode, we would need to pick our next season, which we have said we were going to switch up. The choice is we can do one of three things. We can go to season 2 immediately and discuss it, but that means that we have to wait 10 more seasons to get to season 3 if we want to ever discuss that. So we take a break and we cover 10 seasons of anything else and come back to it. We can do something else for a season and then come back to it at that point, or we can never return to this again and you could just binge the rest of the show.
You told me that binging it and never coming back to it was not an option. That in the immediate moment, it still had to be on the table. So now you just moved the goalposts.
Did I?
You did. Because what was the point of making me wait if just at the end you were going to be like, okay, it's fine.
So, Klarissa, do you want to help her out with this decision here?
This is crazy.
She's like, this is so awkward. Why am I here?
No, I'm eating up that I'm experiencing this live, because I do feel like I'm watching like Deal or No Deal. Like, briefcase is she gonna pick? Like, which one has the better price? I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, I'm on the other
Don't
side of
pick
seat
the wrong
and
thing.
I'm live. Yeah. I mean,
Do you have a suggestion for her?
well, I feel like if you were gonna put on there like we ignore this and we come back to it way later and we do a different show and then we come back to season 2, would she still have to wait?
Yeah.
That's so awful. But that's fun. Tom, that's silly.
I know.
You would have to like to make that worth it, you would have to pitch like a really killer show to do in between. Like, it would have to be like, I feel like that has to come with like, we stop this and we do this show. Whoa, special present. And then you'll be rewarded with season 2 kind of a thing. So I feel like you need to amend that. That's
do we
my
need to come back to this? Do you want time to think during the rest of the episode and we come back to it?
I'm going to say this. Two of the three options get me to watch the next season immediately.
That is correct.
Yes.
That's bad math, Thomas.
It's not.
It is.
It's very intentional.
It is. Klarissa gets me.
I do. Yes, I do.
I feel like picking the never coming back to it, I get to watch it right now, would backfire on me. Like, I would get distracted and not actually watch it, and then I'm going to trail off and be like, I really should have watched the second season, and you know me, because that's is that why this is part of your plan?
Well, I also know there's a fairly decent cliffhanger at the end of season 2.
Right, so...
Oh, Tom.
I
So
know,
if you have to wait even longer at the end of 2, that's even more satisfying for me. I've already done the math. I win no matter what you choose.
But here's the thing you're also not considering. Sarah is a co-host.
And
She's a co-host, so does she get to come up with options for you as well?
potentially,
Like, you gave her
yes.
3 options, but like, does she get to put something on the table? I don't know, Sarah. I just feel like, don't feel trapped by these 3 options. You're a co-host.
So is this your form of making a suggestion for a negotiation? We don't start season 2 right away, but instead she gets to pitch me something? Is that what you're trying to negotiate
I think that's
here?
allowed. I think that's allowed.
I think it's allowed too, but that
I
hasn't been
think
put
that
on the table.
Klarissa is an excellent wingman. Like, because we did talk about, like, yes, the majority
but
of
if you're going to be a series regular,
I'm here for the fun.
she wants to watch Mommy and Daddy fight. Is basically what she wants
she's
to
looking
see.
for the
I've
chaos.
literally just had a good time. Just, like, hanging out. Also, Sarah, Sarah, really quick, if you drop this and you get to just binge it and do whatever forever, you have now created, like, an expectation watching West Wing where you send either emojis or you take, like, 10 pages of notes. So, like, would it just dwindle the love for West Wing if you stopped talking about West Wing?
Oh, thank you. Oh, that was so beautiful. The way you presented it like the innocent baby bird, and you're just toying with her in the way that I am.
No. I think that I know Sarah well, and look at all her fun notes. Sarah, I just think consider that. You might want to continue talking about West Wing, but you do have one option where it's not, we never talk about it again, watch it whenever you want. There's another option of, like, watch it and we keep talking about it. Just
now,
that.
Okay. Are you capable or ready to make a decision in the next, like, minute or two? Or do you want to wait till the end of the episode and we come back to this?
But if we come back to it, are we talking about other options? Like this negotiation?
We could. I mean, I'm ready to take it however you'd like. This is a season finale. I have one primary goal, which is what is coming next, and then we have to grade out this season.
It's so cute when you think you're in control of everything. I love it. It's adorable. It looks great on you. And sometimes I just need to let you know that I might be letting you win just a little bit. So...
Yeah, you're letting me win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, are you going to be ready to make a decision in the next couple of minutes? Or should we wait till the end of the episode and then we can kind of do things? Because I have one other big thing. We have to grade this out as an entire season, and I have some specific categories that we'd like to do. So if you want to end on what's going to come next, instead of doing it right now, that's fine. But I have presented you the choice, and it is up to you.
I think that we should end on what we're going to do next and deal with that chaos. I might have a harder time focusing unless we do the ranking grading first, so that we're, like, actually closing it out.
So
but I do think that I don't know.
This is the economist trap. It's the freedom of choice when you have too many choices and people keep putting choices to you.
And that is why I couldn't come up with a logo.
Who is just short of an econ minor and listens to econ podcasts in their free time? Because
it's this cute boy right over here. It's him. So nobody knows.
Uber nerd.
The uber nerd over
Political and economic theory, like, is catnip for me.
Klarissa, I don't know if you know this, but Tom and I are going to start another podcast where we're going to talk about constitutional law.
Oh my gosh. I would probably listen to every single episode with a notebook because I just will be so honest. Even, like, the legality of this show, it, like, goes kind of over my head. And I'm like, so who's dating who? So it would be good for me to know. I should know these things.
First episode, I actually made a chart. And I've, like, done a little chart for the characters and who they're talking to and who's above what. Of course I have, yeah.
Oh, that's so much.
Okay.
All right. So if we're going to rank this then, and we're going to go straight into that, and we'll come back to our choice for season 2 of First Watch Rewatch.
Okay.
Then we have some different rubric category scoring to work on. Now, these are each 1 out of 10, and this is the season as a whole. Now, this is understanding that Klarissa has not seen every piece of it, but she's gotten at least enough of a sample size to kind of generally know most of these things. So,
yeah,
we're gonna start with that.
I gotta get to a blank page so I can take some notes.
Yeah, same.
That's fine.
Ready.
Okay, we're going to start with acting. 1 out of 10. Who would like to start?
I'll go. I'm going to give this season like a 9 out of 10 on acting. Like, overall, I just feel like the performances are so authentic. There were times that I, like, just from certain people, I wish we had a little bit more of an emotional reaction or a bigger reaction to things. But I do feel like we have big reactions. We have emotional reactions. We have heated conversations. It keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time and, like, emotionally involved, which is acting. So, I'm giving
Bradley
it a 9.
Whitford, Madison, Wisconsin's own Bradley Whitford, is a great character actor. Allison Janney does have an Oscar for a reason. She also has an Emmy for a reason from this show. For that matter, and for whatever reason, I'm blanking on the guy who plays Toby right now, but he also has... I'm sorry? Richard Schiff. Thank you.
It's because
he also has an Emmy for this show, and Martin Sheen has been a great character actor for a number of years. You said that the casting overall was really great. I would say it took them a while to figure out who the primary characters were that they wanted to focus on, but there's a lot that individual characters from an acting standpoint are trying to do during the course of the entire show. Mm-hmm. They're doing comedy. They're doing stirring oratory. They're appealing to persuasive values. And then there's the drama and the feelings and all the other stuff. So there's a wide range of things that they're having to accomplish from episode to episode. And as that, I would agree with your 9. I don't think it's quite to the 10. It's not like one of these custom, mini-series efforts where it's like, I really got into the character, and it's not quite on the level of like John Hamm in Mad Men or Walter White in Breaking Bad or certain shows. I'm going to reserve the 10, but I think for right now on this first one that we're grading out, a 9 is a good starting point.
And I have to agree because across the board, the majority of the acting is really great. There are a couple that I have issues with, namely Mandy. That some of that's bad.
Moira Kelly.
Some of that's bad writing, but it's bad. She's over here in a different type of show, and then mostly everybody else is over here. Honestly, Rob Lowe, I really like him, but I don't think, at least in this season, who knows, I don't think that this is some of his strongest work. But clearly, Toby, CJ, Josh, and Leo love. The 4 of them are so strong. And also Bartlett, yes. We just don't get to see him every single episode. And then some of the other minor characters or side characters who we're going to get to see more of soon. All of them are, I think, really, really strong. So yeah, can't give it a 10 because Moira Kelly sucks. And Rob Lowe is disappointing. But yeah, 9 out of 10. I agree.
Okay, so that makes the average really easy.
For my 9.
Yeah.
She was the reason for my 9. And I enjoy her ish in other stuff, but I do gripe with her even in like Cutting Edge and One Tree Hill. I have gripes with her as an actress. This
role is so bad, and I know that it's anybody in this role would make me angry.
Yeah.
But the bad synergy.
If Klarissa was playing that role, you would be just fine.
I love Klarissa, but it's a badly written character, and I would say, Klarissa, don't do it. Because I love you, and it's a badly written character.
And I wouldn't like you.
And our friendship would be over.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move to the next category here. We have writing. This is also 1 through 10. All of these are 1 through 10.
Okay.
So I would say I think this is about as close to a 10 as you're going to get without getting to a 10. I think it has some of the strongest writing you're going to find, but I think there are certain prestige shows that I've seen where I bow at the altar of what they're capable of doing, particularly in certain seasons. And there are ones that are immediately coming to my mind where I'm like, man, I really love this season of The West Wing. There are individual episodes that I would highlight that are like really up there. But when you're talking about a cohesive narrative season of TV, and this isn't even a prestige show, this is a network show that kind of acted as prestige. I just think there are a couple that I would highlight where it's just a little bit stronger. But I think this is a 9 for me.
Klarissa, go ahead.
I'm going to agree with the 9 because I love the dialogue. I love the dialogue. I think that's something I've already kind of gushed over. It's so quotable. I've seen clips of this show forever because of the dialogue, things that are said. It's so quotable, and it is very quippy. All of them are very witty. But I will say my one gripe with like the episode and kind of chronology writing of this story, I do wish that there were events in the season that did have a little bit more of a longevity from episode to episode than just the interpersonal relationships, because some of them felt really big. And I'm like, this is a huge conversation, and the next episode, it's not a conversation anymore. And that's kind of interesting to me, and maybe that will change as the show goes on, but it sets an expectation in the show that it's like, I almost think if I say this, it gets me into trouble. And I'm not saying it in an insulting way at all.
There are very few people that actually listen to this, so I think you're okay.
Okay, but it might upset you, Tom. And I'm not meaning it to you at all in any way, shape, or form. Because it's just structurally similar in the episode thing, where it's like Grey's Anatomy. You have the medical people who come in and they have one thing that happens, they have surgery, things happen, and it could be massive, and then the next episode, it's gone. But these people are still sleeping together, these people are still mad, these people are still married.
That's the basic tenet of network television. It's episodic.
Okay.
In its nature. Like CSI operates that way, and there are certain USA TV shows that have always operated that way. Very few prestige TV shows are in the mold of a Breaking Bad, where it feels like the entire season is one straight line. It's not like one episode where it's a one-off kind of thing. You don't have these small contained episodes. It's one larger arc.
Yeah. Well, and I really don't even fully need a larger one big arc, I feel like, but there are just a couple things in the episodes where I'm like, that could have trailed into the next episode and been tied up like episode and a half or 2 episodes and called it good, you know? But we have Leo's, like, everything with Leo for quite a long time. And I'm like, that's great. I feel like it's tying in the right amount of episodes. We have all of these different things being sprinkled in, but I'm like, I feel like you could do that with the political issues that, you know, that are going on in the show as well.
Okay.
So yeah, 9.
Right.
But again, so quotable. Chef's
2 9s.
I am waffling on this a little bit.
Okay.
Because I do have some significant gripes, and we've mentioned them before, that the episodes that are not Aaron Sorkin writing by himself are noticeably weaker than the episodes that are him alone. So anytime he's using some sort of consultant, and there's all kinds of consultants, like this person works in the White House and blah, 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 not as good. They're not actually writing any of the scripts, but they're filling in story ideas, right? So the dialogue is still always him, but some of the plot lines aren't as good. And I had that really, really negative reaction to that episode where they go to get Mendoza out of jail, when it's framed with Josh doing that lecture or whatever. I hated that so much, and it took me out of the story.
Okay.
So, but I agree with what y'all have said, because I think it's almost there, but some of my complaints are too big. Like, people who aren't Aaron Sorkin doing stuff, and then this one episode just made me really, really mad. Even though I liked the content of what was happening, like the problem-solving stuff, I didn't like the framing device, and they only did it the one time, and I was glad that it was gone. So I'm going to... only because I have such big feelings about those things, I can't give it a 9 because I feel like those so I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Well, here's where I'm going to, I guess, define the characteristics of the show.
Okay.
On Gmote, we would give you the 0.5. I'm going to say you need to go to the whole numbers.
Okay. All right.
Now,
great.
the other parts of this, do we want to take an average or do we want to come to a consensus? Because I feel like the two of you had bigger feelings and bigger points to move it down to an 8 if you're looking for a consensus.
Yeah.
And I'd be okay with that. Because I give that. This is the first one that we've done. So we have to create some room to move if there's something else that's a little bit bigger, better, whatever, for other stuff that's going on as we continue going.
I think I like the idea of a consensus because it
All right.
forces discourse, right?
Then does anyone have to or have an argument with the 8 then? Like my feelings are not strong enough to really argue for the 9. You both had your issues. I'm fine with moving this to an 8.
I feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Okay. Next one up is Intangibles, which is how does this make you feel? Sarah, you haven't started yet.
But I always finish.
Well, we know that's not true because my episode of Little Women isn't out yet.
I said, why does it have to be on your timeline?
Yeah.
Tom? I have my own timeline that I am working with. Again,
Move past it. It's good.
I made you feel things. Now move on.
Right.
God.
Tell me about your feelings. Oh, you're telling me about your feelings? Nope. Never
It's okay,
mind.
just move on. It's all right. Take a breath, Sarah. Gosh.
I like having Klarissa around.
Yeah, you're fitting right into the dynamic on this.
Intangibles, intangibles, like only feelings, or for example,
it's
feelings?
basically the aesthetic. How does the show make you feel on an episode to episode basis? For me, this show, for example,
okay,
often makes me cry. Not like big sobs or whatever else, but I need to grab some sort of tissue because I'm tearing up at something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That is a good qualifier. Is it possible to know what the other categories are before I make a determination? Because
All right.
I feel
Cinematography, narrative, characters, and editing.
Characters, narrative, and editing. Okay.
And we can add some. I mean, I'm not married to that being the final list or whatever, but...
All right. Okay. No, that helps me kind of compartmentalize some things. I would say for me, Intangibles in terms of my feelings, and maybe you guys can help me talk through this a little bit because I might be having a hard time parsing this out, but I feel so emotionally affected by these episodes, but I also wonder if part of that is because, Tom, we've spent so much time talking and analyzing about all of these things.
Oh, okay.
And you know that you and I like those topics a lot, right? So that if we go off on a tangent on the ethics of the death penalty or reparations or whatever it is, that for me feeds into the emotional weight, right? So I'm having an emotional reaction watching it, but I'm also having an emotional reaction because it is producing these really complex conversations that you and I have had. And
I don't think it has to be one or the other. Like,
Okay.
I can separate out my enjoyment of doing the show and talking about these topics and going a little bit more in depth about certain pieces of it. But to be quite honest, like, the show moved me when I first watched it without the benefit of this. So I guess maybe I'm the only one that could truly have that separation, I suppose. Although, I guess, Klarissa, you probably could, because even though you watched it somewhat in tangent to do this episode, you weren't watching it specifically in the 3-episode chunks we were to discuss it on a weekly basis like we were.
Yeah.
But that being said, this appeals, one, all of the characters, I think, and this is going to go to where we're at later with a different topic or a different category with characters. I think most of the characters are fairly well developed, and as they go through stuff, you're marrying the personal and what you feel for the character and their vulnerabilities, struggling in significant jobs, with your own sense of morality, ethics, and your appeal to a greater sense of purpose in democracy and all these other larger concepts. And so because of that, I've always felt a strong emotional pull on this. Frankly, I was going to give it a 10.
Yeah, and I think that taking all of these things into consideration for me, I think I could easily give it a 10 on just my emotional reactions watching, even if I'm not sobbing, that I am affected emotionally. But in this particular instance, and it's the only way that I can take it, because this is the only way that I've experienced the show, part of my enjoyment and part of my feelings and part of that is because I get to talk to you about it, and I like that stuff. Now, is this going to be something that continues on when we're talking about different shows? I don't know if other shows will have the same discussion effect on me. I will always enjoy discussing things, but I think it's specifically these ones talking about policies and ethics and philosophy and theology and all of those types of things. So at 10, I'm giving it a 10. I mean, that's basically my long-winded way of saying I'm giving it a 10.
I have felt strongly about certain characters and certain moments in a particular show, but as far as across a crop of episodes, as much as a full season, I think this is probably as close as you're going to get for all of these. And even like season 2, as strong as that season is, I don't even know if I would necessarily go that like it's a full 10, because it doesn't just quite work across every episode in the way that almost to a T everything in this first season pretty much does for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I also, we said our last episode, where I'm like, well, we're getting into the cutesy high school stuff. Did you just want me to watch this as a rom-com? And I feel embarrassed, right? But that a good show can satisfy a lot of different components. And so I get to have the big dramatic feelings, but I also get to have the squealy, oh my God, that's so cute, I want everybody to be in love feelings, which is unexpected. So I am doubling it. It's now a 20 out of 10.
Okay. Clarissa, are you going to have any argument? Yeah.
No, no arguments. This is definitely a show that is built to make people like me very emotional. But I will say, at least for this season, like if we're rating seasons, I'm giving it an 8, because this is how I work with shows. Is I build the foundation of emotional love and like understanding for characters and understanding the plot line, understanding of context in the show, and then I love them even more every season, or I feel more emotionally attached to them. For me, with this show, and like we said, I have to accept, like, there are still quite a few episodes that I haven't been able to take in yet. And so, like, maybe by the actual end of the season, I will feel a little differently or more emotionally inclined. From the, like, 16 or 17 episodes that I did watch
I think it's
13,
14.
Yes,
yeah, 'cause-
14 episodes. Math is hard. But for those episodes that I did watch in the season, I feel like I'm feeling that base really start to get there. It's just that we do have a lot of really emotionally diverse characters that I'm still getting to know and emotionally investing in. But I will say the things that have me really emotional at the end of the episodes that really get me more towards the 8 is how patriotic things are. And like hopeful, working towards like the better good. I think that those are like some of the biggest things that also make me really emotional in a show is like the greater good. It's a bigger message. It's not just, it's outside of just the show. And, you know, and that's kind of something that this show brings into play. So maybe I would be willing to go up to like a 9 for this.
See, because really what I heard was an abstention.
A what?
An abstention.
Like I'm abstaining?
Correct. Because you haven't seen enough of the episodes yet.
You know what? Yeah, I think that would be fair. That would be fair. From what I've seen up to this point, I have like an 8 or a 9. I don't think it is. I actually don't think it is. I think it actually really is what I'm trying to say. Of like, I'm not quite there yet. And that's okay. And like owning that that's just kind of how I work. So, yeah. And
all right.
abstination.
We've still got
because
4
she doesn't want
categories.
to put out on the first night. That's why she
Yeah,
needs
duh.
to build up the relationship.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'm not. Yeah. I don't want to get thrown off my own show.
You're out.
And it's now the Klarissa
let's move
Beckstead
to
show.
hopefully
Okay.
something that's simpler and that we don't need to spend 10 minutes on. Cinematography. I have this at like a 4. The walk and talks and the inventiveness of that is great. There's some picturesque stuff as far as like the set design and all the rest of it, but there's nothing like truly outdoors. There's nothing, you know, this isn't an HBO show. This was network television. I think a 4 is probably warranted.
That's what I have as well.
I was like, I was actually thinking like middle of the road because don't care, like 5. But if you both are 4, I'm gonna yes, I concur.
Great.
4.
Yeah, there are great shows that are outdoors and that like obviously have much bigger production budgets. This is all indoors. It's moving between sets. The only reason I'm at a 4 and not even lower is just simply that they invented the walk and talk, and that's it. So, all right, narrative wise. So, Klarissa, you already had some criticisms of the narrative from one thing to the next and it being only on the interpersonal stuff. Why don't you lead here?
Yeah, just kind of the same reasoning. I gave this a 9. I felt like it kind of went hand in hand with my thoughts on the writing. Just because in my mind, writing the narrative like that, those points were the same. Writing like the script and the dialogue were a separate set of points. So with the narrative, 9 out of 10 I feel like is a pretty good spot for me, where it's like I do still have those gripes and it is still giving wiggle room for a first season show, because that's the thing is like I do feel like a lot of shows start to find their footing a little bit more in second, maybe even third or fourth seasons. Like a lot of my favorite shows, it's third or fourth seasons that they really start to pick up the pace of what they're doing right. And so for a season 1, I feel like a 9 with a narrative is pretty good.
Where I would just slightly disagree, and this is where I have to build room for us to move, is there are different shows, different prestiges that have like a season-long arc for characters and that they're developing it usually in a much shorter amount of episodes. Like 22 episodes in a network TV show, you don't have the ability to move everybody across 11 episodes for a first half and 11 episodes in a back half in the way that you do in like a 10-episode arc, where you can build everything from here's the 3 characters we want to focus on and here's where we want them to end, and let's build the bridge in between there kind of thing. And so because of that, because of the limitations of where the show's at, like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the narrative, but there's no true cohesion because that's not how they were writing. This is very much episodic television. It's not working in concert to all of those things. And so I would say this is closer to a 6. It's got some good narratives. The president and how some of those things move across this season and eventually leading into next season, where there are some things that have already been set up. The table is set for certain things that end season 2. But is there anything where, like, an individual character has moved in a very particular way that we're focusing on from the beginning to the end of the season? I'm not sure we have. I think all of these
No, not
people
really.
really haven't moved very far, and that it's more they're reacting to situations. And so from that standpoint, I want to give ourselves some more room. So I have this actually at a 6 then. And for whatever reason, Sarah is now out of focus again on her camera feed.
Oh, you look fine to me.
Oh,
It's just because you're so full of emotion, your eyes are tearing up.
Yeah,
With
you're
that beautiful
so
speech you
Yep.
gave, and
emotional.
so is tears rolling it. Yeah. Yeah, I can't. This one has to be lower because I was so frustrated with several of the narratives. The Sam stuff constantly being him.
whether
his-
it's
his-
with Lori or with Mallory, yeah.
Right, and they're literally the same storyline. It's just two different characters. It's dumb. They spent so much time on it. They wrap it up at the last, like, a penultimate episode. It's annoying. The stuff that they had with Mandy, again, she's a bad character. I don't think that necessarily bringing her in was bad, but then she's so useless by the end with the Panda Express stuff. And I think that there could have been, as Klarissa had said, there were other things that could have been drawn out or threaded a little bit more that would have helped with the interpersonal storylines, but also the overall narrative of the administration. So where are we going? And even thinking about, you've mentioned it several times now, Klarissa, but the stuff with Leo, it's just, it's over all of a sudden. Why? It feels unfinished, and whether or not, and we're obviously, Klarissa and I are talking in a vacuum about this, right? Not knowing what's going in, not knowing what is going to happen in the future, right? Because we are not omniscient like Mr. Tom. Maybe it's going to come back, but it feels like that was such a significant, huge, important thing to happen for the character, as well as the ripple effect that it would have on the other people on the staff. Even though you had reminded me, Tom, that this isn't necessarily going to be front page news, right? But it's still significant. Anyway, threads left hanging. Remember, everybody on the aircraft carrier during the hurricane is dead because we never revisited them. But this is my time to filibuster.
Yeah, well, we still have 2 categories to get to and to choose the end of the season.
What?
Or-
So you said 6, right?
I said 6, she had a 9, yes. You can say whatever number you want, and then we can... What are you feeling? Just put a number to it.
You told me my feelings weren't valid. No, that's not
That
what you
is
said.
not what I said.
That is not what you said. Okay. I'm feeling like I want to punt some of these storylines into the sun.
Okay.
But then other
say
ones
it like
are
a
so
3.
good.
Say like a 3 and we'll
So-
settle on a 6.
No, okay, I think I just need to say 5. Just stop it, Thomas. 5. I want to say
Okay,
a 5.
you're at a 5. All right.
I want to say a 5.
I feel good with a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do a 6. Yeah.
All right. Well, we can move to a 6. That's fine. Characters.
He wins again.
You know, it's like I designed the show.
It is like you designed the show and roped me into it.
All right. Characters.
Characters, I'm going to take the lead on this one. I'm giving this an 8. It is almost perfect. Almost. It could almost be a 9.
And this is where I want to separate it out, and you're doing a good job with this because both of you don't have the benefit of knowing other characters and how it comes after and how these characters develop, but you're just focusing on this one season. So yes, in this one season where they haven't developed the full cast yet, they haven't gotten to this like nice camaraderie where everything's kind of chugging along, they haven't ditched Moira Kelly yet.
Tom!
Oh yeah,
Spoiler.
she's dead. She's dead. I mean, she doesn't die.
We've
She's
been
gone.
discussing that all season, so it's
He
not
told
really
me
that.
early on because I hated her so early, and he was like, "Should I tell you what happens?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "I'm gonna tell you anyway."
Wait, when does she leave? Did I miss that?
She
Is it
doesn't
It's
in-
come
between
back.
seasons 1 and seasons 2.
Okay.
She just doesn't come back. She doesn't die or anything. She just doesn't come back.
That's fine. It's 'cause
They
she was
realized
gonna
the
record
mistake
one
and
for
they
you.
corrected it.
Yeah, she is a glaring mistake.
Okay.
And I think that there are some other characters who I not really sure. I don't know if they're being used in the correct way.
Right.
For example, the vice president, I still don't understand, especially in this finale episode.
Tim Matheson.
Why is Josh jogging with the VP? Literally, what are they talking about? I don't know. Would I have been the president? I know it for sure. What? It's too vague. There's a point when being too vague is annoying, and I like things to be rather explicit.
If we were to discuss the first 3 episodes of season 2, you would know.
I don't
Immediately.
care, but we are talking about right now.
Tom,
You just
quit
said
doing that.
You just
Quit.
said we have to
Okay.
do it with only this, and so
Okay.
yeah,
That's fine.
I love
have
you
this
so
at
much. An 8.
I have this at a 7 for very much the same reasons, but also we need a space to kind of grow into. And there are a lot of really great characters, but there are some characters that don't work, that they excise by the time we get to season 2. They focus on the right people that came more to the forefront. And the peripheral characters start to really be emphasized more in later seasons. So I don't think they're quite there yet. So from a first season, I think this is a 7.
I am putting this at a 9 because I feel like for a first season, they are the biggest thing I'm interested in, which I think speaks very big to the show of like the political things come and go, but I am formulating in my head immediately the relationships, the connections, the way that people interact, their roles, which is all character based. And so to me, I'm like, for a character-heavy show and a first season that's supposed to hook me for how many seasons after, right? They did a really great job. I'm comfortable coming to an 8, like Sarah's 8.
I feel more strongly about this, but for the purposes of time, I'll just acquiesce to the 8.
Yay, we did it.
Yay!
And finally, editing. Aaron Sorkin shows are very much edited in a very particular way. The dialogue is delivered exactly as it's written on the page with a certain pace, and we know this about him. I think as far as editing and the pace of these shows, it never seems to drag all that much for me. I think they're fairly well done. Is it the perfect amount of editing? No, but I think I would give this an 8.
I don't have enough of an opinion on this particular category in this show because I'm not I'm not worried about the editing at all. It's not something that I'm thinking about. I feel
So are you
similarly-
asking to excise this category?
No, I'm saying that I'm giving it a lower score because it's not something that I am paying attention to.
Okay.
I can think of other shows where I would say, ooh, the editing is really good, or ooh, the cinematography is really good, right? Like, this isn't one that would fulfill that. So my thought is, I never thought about the editing, therefore it's kind of persona non grata for me, so I'm going to give it like a 3 because I don't care. I will be interested to see what we would do with this category on other shows.
Okay. You want to round us out, Klarissa?
Yes, I agree with Sarah, but I did go kind of the opposite way, where it was like, I don't really know enough about the editing. I just know that as an audience member, this show kind of did what it was aiming to do. It had the like very 90s feel, the quick pace show. And so to me, there was that part of like the non-diegetic side that I enjoyed of the editing, of like, oh, I just felt that way because the editing was effective. So I gave it a 9 because I was like, it was effective. I wasn't paying attention to it because that wasn't something I was really as cognizant of. And so that probably means that I was like, oh, it just flowed the way they wanted it to. So I would be comfortable. Tom, you were an 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be okay doing that because, again, it's not really something I'm cognizant of, but I do feel like it did have that, like, once you're asking me, I'm thinking back, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like, I liked the following down the hall conversations, the talking while we're walking. I liked the room movement. It helped with the pacing and the feel of the scene in a way that I just wasn't even paying attention to. I was just reacting emotionally as an audience member.
I will say, in the interest of my first co-host, let's put it that way, you have been critical during the course of the season for trying to plug too many things and moving too quickly between plot lines often for that. And I guess while some of that could be on the writing, I would say part of that might also be on the editing as far as a whiplash. So I'd be willing to move down a little bit. I'm not willing to go below the 5 because I just think this is a better edited show than that. But I understand where you're coming from.
Sure, and I swung for the fences on that one, right? Because
that's
I was
fine.
like,
that's what you're supposed to do. You put out a marker, and
right.
If we're going to come to a consensus, that's appropriate.
So I'm fine with going, I would say, max probably up to a 6. I don't think that I could say any higher than that because this is just not... I'm thinking of this in terms of craft a little bit, and I just don't see it.
And that's a valid point. Like, it's definitely not a show that I would put up next to. I think if I'm putting it up next to other shows of the 90s that are, like, in this kind of realm, I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, that's what you did. If I'm putting it up next to, like, the Netflix miniseries Maniac... You know, I'm like, no, it's not going to do that. But I think it just depends on where you're putting it. But I do see that point. I'm okay. This is a very fluid number for me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We're good. Again, I wasn't paying that much attention until you asked.
Yeah.
That's all right. So for our first marker on a season, we did The West Wing Season 1, grades out to a 51 out of 70.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to start. So it is number 1 and the only one on the list so far. And we'll see where we get to from there. Now, coming back to our other conversation, I had left you guys with a choice.
Are we going to talk
what the
about
choice was?
Choice? Okay.
Yeah.
Choice was continue on immediately to season 2. So our second season is still West Wing.
Okay, so I'll just repeat it for your own sake here, all right? We can
I
either
was going to prove that I can remember things, but okay.
Oh, all right, go ahead. Go ahead if you want to do that.
I do. One of the options was we do not ever revisit it on the show, and I can just go ahead and binge it as much as I want, or we take a break, do another show, and come back to season 2 sometime in the future. Right?
So, you have it almost completely right, but I just want to emphasize certain terms. The second option that you had is completely right. The third option that you had there, we could take a break for one season to do another season of anything else and then come back to it immediately following that if you wanted to. We can do season 2 immediately, but then we can't come back to it for 10 seasons of anything else.
Oh, okay. So basically saying if we do season 2...
Then we have to take a very long gap between seasons 2 and 3.
Would we... Is the option to only take one season off in between 1 and 2 if we stop? Or is it like...
It would be up to you. At the end of whatever we're covering next, I'll basically present the same options, provided I'm the one who's rewatching, and you guys can pick from that.
Okay, so then we have to ask, is this next... Okay, so let's just... If it's West... I almost said Westworld. If it's West Wing...
Very different shows.
I love Westworld. So if we're doing Westworld... No. If we're doing West Wing...
Well, if we have
obviously...
a third person join us... and we don't know what she has or has not seen, that opens up the door for a lot of things. And
right.
I think you and I know where Westworld goes, but I don't know if she's seen it.
Oh, God, have you seen it?
No.
It is my favorite
the first
television
season
show
is,
of all time. Love
the,
it.
The first season is exceptional television, and it just continues to go downhill from there.
No, it doesn't. I still think about this television show on a daily basis.
That's
like
fine.
On a daily basis.
Anyway.
So, if we do West Wing, that would still be first watch for me, rewatch for you.
Correct.
Whatever we're doing next, do you want it to be still rewatch for you, first watch for me?
Doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have
I'm
to
open
be.
and I'm open
Yeah,
and
I say
fluid.
mix it up. Put Tom on his toes.
So here is kind of some of my thoughts, because I'm willing to not watch season 2 because you prepped me for that at the beginning. So I was already prepared to be denied.
But you want to come back to it.
But I might want to come back to it.
Okay.
There's a way
So that's fine.
for... Okay.
So I'm going to make you an
nope.
offer then as the person that... So since we're not going to season 2 immediately then, that's what you've decided, I will give you an offer as the omniscient person. Each of you, having not seen the show, gets to ask one question.
Of like what happens in the future?
If you want. Correct.
No, I'll just watch it eventually.
Well, you can watch the rest of season 1 yet, so that's all available too.
No, I know, but I'm also like, I don't want to have any questions for the next season answered because I'd rather just...
That's fine.
Wait and watch it.
Does everybody fall in love by the end?
Oof. All of the main primary characters do have some type of significant other and the flash forward in the final season. I'm pretty sure.
Great. Perfect.
I don't remember who it is, but there is a payoff from actually 2 different payoffs from season 1 that you'll be very happy with.
Go on.
That was the end of the question.
I can still say questions out loud. You just don't have to answer them.
Okay.
So I'm going to take that, and that means that CJ and Danny are going to smooch a whole lot more.
That was my immediate thought.
Are they
do you want me to ask that as my question, Sarah?
Yes.
I have a question. Do CJ and Danny smooch a lot more in this next season, particularly? No. Friggin' damn it.
Do they get married at the end? I bet they get married at the end. I bet there's tons of fighting.
People smooch when they get married.
they do in front of lots of people.
Yeah.
Well, not always, but yeah. Okay.
Not every time.
Okay, so then So then deciding what we're going to do next, one of my things that I was thinking was, because I was swirling things in my head while we were grading, and then I was looking back at, like, the shows that we had talked about. Mm-hmm. And if you were ready to, the shows that you and I had distilled.
Which is like 80.
No. That we had distilled, top shows, there's like 10.
Okay.
But then thinking stuff that you haven't seen that I have seen that I like, we could still do some politics if we wanted. Okay. There's a couple of different options so that we wouldn't have to leave this world entirely. We could still have
an idea on that. Yeah.
Right? Because I really like the intellectual components.
If you like that, going into like the legal system or the criminal justice system or something like that for me to pontificate on, yes. And I have the show. So you guys are watching
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Is that what you're pitching?
Not quite.
Just kidding.
I was going to suggest The Wire for that.
Wire?
No, but that's you already having seen it.
That's true, but you have not. I don't think
and
either
I
of you
just
have.
said I want it to be something that you haven't seen.
Okay, so then what are you proposing?
So then I would... Oh, wait.
This is great podcasting.
Hey, Thomas, you set all of this up.
Yeah,
we don't have notes or outlines. You said you like the chaos.
Here's this question with three options.
You chose me.
Oh my gosh, what
as your
podcasting prep?
You know that my brain is basically like epileptic squirrels on like a wheel, okay?
Okay, what is the show?
I would give you 3 options to choose from.
Okay.
They are wildly different, though.
Say a name, please.
Why? You made me wait for information. Why should I just give you instant satisfaction?
You're not.
Okay.
I'm trying to move this along.
Okay. I think that if we're going to keep it in the same sort of vein, I think that we should do The Residence, The Good Wife, or Designated Survivor. The Residence is literally one season. It's a limited series, so it's like 8 or 10 episodes or whatever.
I'm fine with any of those. I haven't seen any of them. You are correct.
I know. So, Klarissa, do you have anything in particular you would be interested in out of those 3? You're like, what are the shows?
Well, I haven't seen any of them, but The Resident has Logan from Gilmore Girls, and I know that, and I love him, so I think he's the main guy. Right?
The Residence?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that actor is Logan from Gilmore Girls.
Are we thinking of the same show?
Yes, Matt Kazuri, Dr. Conrad, Dr. Conrad Hawk. What's his name?
Yeah, there's no doctors in The Residence with a
Resident?
CE. No, CE.
CE? Oh, I'm reading The Resident.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's Logan from Gilmore Girls, duh, you guys.
The Residence is from, what was that from, last year?
It's Netflix, yeah.
Residence.
Yeah, and it's only 8 episodes, but they're long
I
episodes.
also have not seen this, but Logan is not in this. So.
That's correct.
So this one is like Agatha Christie in the White House.
That's fun.
Basically.
Okay, that's fun.
And it's got some comedy in it. And it's, again, only 8 episodes. Then Designated Survivor is Kiefer Sutherland as like a lower ranking person in a administration and stuff goes wrong.
when the State of the Union happens, they have to designate one person to stay behind. So in case the Capitol is bombed, then there's somebody to take over the government. And that's the premise of the show is everybody else dies. So he is now in the presidential line of succession, which I think is defined under, there was the Presidential Line of Succession Act of like 1965, which then was enshrined, I think, as part of the 25th Amendment. Yeah, and I'm just showing off now. But anyway, it's like each cabinet secretary has a position, et cetera, down the line. Because the first four ones that I know, it's the president, the vice president, then the Speaker of the House, then it's the Senate pro tempore. Yes, I did Latin. Anyway. And then after that, you're welcome. Anyway, but The Residence is a murder mystery. Designated Survivor is a premise-driven, high-concept drama, very much kind of 24-esque would be my guess. And then The Good Wife is kind of a legal drama with Julia Margulies, or Juliana Margulies.
I've heard of that one. That's the one I've heard of the most.
Yeah, I think that's the most prestige-heavy, and it's the one that's been kind of like a glaring omission for me. So if you're telling me it's one of these three, and I need to invest some time, I would probably say it's that one.
Okay, so let me see here. And The Good Wife has so many spin-off shows. Like, I want to say at least 2 or 3. There are 7 seasons of The Good Wife. And there are 23 episodes in the first season. There's 3 seasons of Designated Survivor, 21 seasons in the first thing. And then The Residence is just it's a standalone 8.
So my question is, it's clearly available on Paramount Plus. Does Klarissa have Paramount Plus?
Yes, I do. Also, I have to say, I was looking at this cast, and Logan from Gilmore Girls is in this show.
Which one? The Good Wife?
Yeah, The Good Wife. That's freaking
okay,
funny.
so that sounds like what we're doing.
That's actually hilarious.
Stalker Channing is actually in it as well.
Okay.
Is that what we're doing? We're going to do The Good Wife?
Yeah,
that sounds like what we're going to do.
I love this show.
Okay.
I'm very excited. I remember how much I love it. Hopefully the first season is as good as I remember. Oh God. Okay.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Maybe it's a disaster. Okay.
Let's see here. The Good Wife, and we should probably look at season 1 here.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I... Can't type with my mic in the way, but...
I'm so sorry. I have not eaten yet, and it's almost 9. I might have to go soon.
Yes.
That's fine. We'll try and get out of here in a second, so...
No, you're fine. I didn't want to, interrupt or anything.
All right, let's just... I wanted to see how many episodes were in season 1 here.
I just said 23.
23? Mm-hmm. Now, we could theoretically keep this 3-episode structure, or we could break it down to 2 per and spend a little bit more time with 3 people.
A good point. I can't remember.
We don't have to decide now.
Episodes
we could always do it off air and then convene next week. But that sounds like what we're going to do. So we have our rankings done. We have our choices done. We have covered season 1 of The West Wing. We likely will return at some point. But we're going to explore something new. And we added a third spoke to this wheel.
Yay! And I'm the one... I get to be the rewatch on this one.
That's fun.
I'm excited.
So...
Now I'm nervous.
Anyway.
Oh, God.
But that looks like a good spot to stop for this week. Thank you all for listening. We will see you in season 2.
Bye.